Hey guys, Field here. Today I just wanted to take a few minutes just to show you what I think are winter road trip must-haves. You know, I drive about 25,000 miles a year between travel and seeing family and whatever. And these are all things I've used, and I'm not actually a fan of having a bunch of stuff in my car just to have it or to be, super tactical high speed. But these are all things that I think are just everyday useful, going to the grocery store or going across the country. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this into three categories. We're going to have things that will keep you moving, we're going to have things that will keep you safe, and we'll things that keep you sustained. In the keep you moving category, the one thing that will stop you the quickest is a flat tire. So what I like to use are these little tire repair kits. Essentially, you pull out the nail or anything that's in your tire and you replace it with one of these little hot dogs, and then you can fill it back up. Now, if you gotta fill it back up, you're gonna need a pump, right? So what I like to use is this Amazon Basics pump. Now, I don't think they make this one anymore, but they do make other ones that I'll link in the description that some people I know have. And those are just great. But key distinction about this is I like the 12-volt plug-ins for the cigarette lighters. I don't like things with batteries because I forgot to charge the batteries, and then I'll just have a useless air pump. So that would be good. Now, speaking of maintenance with the vehicle and keeping it going, always good to have jumper cables in the car just in case your battery dies. That is super common in the winter. Pro tip is go get it checked at a local parts store. They'll check it for free. They'll do it called cold cranking amps, and they'll check out your battery, no problem. Let you know if you need a new one. Now, if you can't plug your tire, you can always just change your tire. And I keep this 4-way tire iron. I got this one from Harbor Freight, super cheap. Fits a whole bunch of different sizes of tires, and these are a lot easier to put on the car and spin instead of actually just having to crank it like the ones that come with the vehicles. Speaking of vehicle repair, if you get into a small accident, zip ties are great to have to put things back together, just enough that you can get down the road and keep driving without having everything stop. Other than vehicle repair, I just keep a small socket set. This one at Harbor Freight, and I don't actually use it outside of anything else. I just lives in my car just in case I ever need it. Haven't yet though, knock on wood. Then finally, we keep you moving. I have a snow brush. I'm talking about the winter here. This one's great. It's called a Snow Joe. Has little lights on it. Again, batteries are dead, so I never use the lights. But this end goes on here, and you can push or pull snow off. So it's great if you live in a snowy area. All right, next one, things that will keep you safe. First off, if it's the winter, things that will keep you safe is staying warm, right? So if it's wet out, it's good to have a poncho. Again, super cheap. Get these anywhere. Also, good to have a change of clothes. I like to put a pair of pants that I don't particularly wear anymore, and a sweatshirt that one of those ones you just don't want to get rid of, but you probably should. It just lives in the truck now is my excuse. Working our way up to seriousness, we have first aid kit. This is a Red Cross one that I got like 10 years ago, and I checked the Band-Aids the other day, and everything still is super sticky and works great. So you can either get one of those, they're a little pricey, only about 30 bucks, or you can put everything together at the dollar store, or through your medicine cabinet if you have enough of that stuff lying around. Another thing with keeping you safe, I like to carry flashlights with me. One distinction about the flashlights is I like them to be USB rechargeable. This one's USB-A, so I have to keep a separate charger in my car. But they're super great for anything. If you any repairs or something makes some weird noise, or just if it's dark out and you gotta walk the dog. I don't like to keep flashlights that take batteries in my car because with the temperature changes, they're always dying. So again, rechargeable flashlights. If you want a little more light, I have the Streamlight Wedge here. It's a little more pricey, but this thing will essentially function as a headlight if you really need it to. All right, finally in the keeping you safe category, we have a trauma kit, including a tourniquet and shears, trauma bandage, gauze, all that, Mylar blanket, and this is everything you'll learn how to use in a Stop the Bleed course, which I have linked in other descriptions of other videos. And those courses are free to use, to take, and they will teach you how to use everything in this kit. And it's super great. Everyone should learn it, just in case you come across or happen to have some major bleeding of your own. It can get you that higher level of care. All right, so if you can't get moving and you've taken care of any bumps or bruises and you still are stuck there, we're gonna have keeping you sustained. I like to keep water and food. That's pretty much it when I mean keeping you sustained. By water, I'll use these sweet 1.5 gallon water cubes. One thing with keeping water bottles in your car is oftentimes when the water freezes, it expands, bottles crack. The water melts and you have a puddle of water in your car. You don't know where it came from. So these cubes, they will expand, but they won't break, and you can fill them out right from the city tap. If you're on well water, you might have to treat it beforehand, but if you're on city tap water, there's enough residual chemicals and stuff in there that the water won't go bad. I use this as a replacement water bottle sometimes if I forgot water in my car. And keep it in there for probably about a month or so. You might want to change them out, clean it a little bit. And for talking food, you have two options. Less shelf-stable, more readily available, just take normal salty snacks, RX bar and Chomps, just for reference here for your cabinet, and just put them in your car. If you want to get super high speed about it, you can get NREs. Dude, they're like super cheap right now. They're like $80 for a case of 12, which I don't know, do the math. It's like $8.50 a meal, is that right? I'm not sure, but cheap as they've ever been. And you can rotate them out once a month, once every 2 months. They don't stay forever, especially in a car that gets hot and cold. But they are great to have. So I do highly recommend just sliding one of these in your passenger seat if you travel a lot. And if you like these kind of videos, I like to keep people prepared without being super in the weeds about things, and I'm not trying to sell any super expensive products or anything like that. I'm just trying to show you guys what I use just because I like creating content. So if you want a more casual atmosphere, please subscribe. I should be having more videos coming down the pipeline as time allows. But yeah, let me know if there's anything I missed or anything else that you'd want to see in future videos. I'm all ears. All right, thanks. Bye.